Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a brief response to a question posed by my friend here on YouTube who goes by the name ThePuppyturtle. Now, I often make the claim that it is intuitively obvious that this statement is true. Now, ThePuppyturtle is one of the few people to argue that killing non-consenting people solely for entertainment is not always wrong. Now, he attempts to contradict my statement by using a thought experiment. He asks us to imagine that a man with a bomb is about to destroy the United Kingdom, and I'll let him explain the rest.
A serial killer who really doesn't care about the destruction of the United Kingdom, is just out for his personal sadistic pleasure, kills this person and stops him from setting off the bomb. Again, this wasn't done with the intention of saving the United Kingdom. The serial killer knew it would do that, but he just wanted his sadistic pleasure. He didn't care if it saved someone else or not. In that situation, someone has been killed solely for entertainment, and yet the action would certainly be considered to be moral. I would actually like to see Epidemic respond to that point.
Consequentialism, which is a moral philosophy, argues that something is good if it brings about a good consequence. Now, ironically, even the most prominent consequentialists would not have argued that the serial killer was good, even though his actions happened to bring about something beneficial to mankind. You mentioned that the serial killer did not intend to save the UK, and it turns out that even the most popular consequentialist theory, utilitarianism, factors in intentions. To quote from John Stuart Mill in his book Utilitarianism, he says, "The rightness or wrongness of saving a man from drowning does depend very much not upon the motive, but upon the intention. No utilitarian would have differed from him. Mr. Davies, by an oversight too common not to be quite venial, has in this case confounded the very different ideas of motive and intention. There is no point which utilitarian thinkers have taken more pains than to illustrate this. The morality of the action depends entirely upon the intention." So if the sole intention was to bring about pain, as you explained, then not even the utilitarians would think he was being moral. But let's just pretend for a moment that the consequentialists do disagree about whether or not this statement is factually correct. Would it become any less intuitively obvious that the statement is correct? Well, the answer is no, and the reason is that consequentialism is not based upon moral intuitions, and in fact, our moral intuitions may often blatantly conflict with utilitarianism. To show this, here's a quote from another utilitarian philosopher named Dave E. Miller, and it's going to be taken from this book, which will be cited down below. He says, "If there are more realistic cases in which the theory, talking about utilitarianism, entails that we are obligated to do something contrary to our convictions, is to question why we should ever trust our pre-theoretical considered moral judgments, more than a theory," again talking about utilitarianism, "for which a compelling intellectual case can be made. As Smart writes, if the results of act utilitarianism conflict with common sense ethics, then so much the worse for common sense ethics." What he's saying that I agree with is that our moral intuitions and utilitarianism often conflict at some level, and that evidence for one position is evidence against the other. But what I disagree with is that a compelling intellectual case can be made for the truth of utilitarianism. And that, if you guys want, will be the topic of a future video. In fact, that might be something good to talk about down in the comments section. If you think there are good reasons to think utilitarianism is true, or good reason to think that it's false, feel free to let me know down below. And as always, test everything, hold on to the good.